ago, in the glorious kingdom of Vijayanagara, there lived an elderly woman who was known for her honesty and kindness. She lived a simple life in a small house on the edge of the city. Although she was not rich, she had spent many years saving a few precious gold ornaments. Those ornaments were her life's treasure and the result of decades of hard work. One day, the elderly woman decided to fulfill a lifelong dream. She wanted to go on a sacred pilgrimage to visit holy temples across the land. The journey would take many months, and she worried about leaving her valuable jewellery unattended. After much thought, she decided to entrust her treasures to a wealthy merchant in the city. The merchant had a reputation for being successful and respectable, so many people trusted him. The elderly woman visited his house carrying a cloth bag filled with her gold ornaments. "Son," she said kindly, "I am leaving for a long pilgrimage. These ornaments are everything I own. Please keep them safe until I return." The merchant smiled warmly. "Do not worry, mother. Your belongings will be perfectly safe with me." Relieved, the elderly woman handed him the bag and began her journey. Months passed. The elderly woman travelled from temple to temple, praying and visiting sacred places. At last, she returned home, tired but happy. The very next day, she went to the merchant's house. "I have returned," she said. "Please give me back my jewellery." The merchant nodded and handed her a cloth bag. "Here it is, exactly as you left it." The elderly woman thanked him and returned home. But when she opened the bag, her heart nearly stopped. Her precious gold ornaments were gone. In their place were cheap, fake ornaments that only looked like gold. Her hands trembled. Her eyes filled with tears. She immediately rushed back to the merchant's house. "These are not my ornaments," she cried. "Someone has replaced them." The merchant frowned angrily. "What nonsense! That is the same bag you gave me." "No, I gave you real gold ornaments." "Can you prove it?" he asked coldly. The poor woman was devastated. She knew she was telling the truth, but she had no evidence. With nowhere else to turn, she went to the royal court and appealed to King Krishnadevaraya. The king carefully listened to her story. Seeing her tears, he felt sympathy for her. He immediately summoned Tenali Raman. "Tenali Raman," said the king, "this woman seeks justice. Find out the truth."
Tenali Raman bowed respectfully. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." The elderly woman handed him the cloth bag. Tenali Raman examined it carefully. He looked at every corner, every stitch, and every thread. Suddenly, he noticed something unusual. One side of the bag appeared to have been stitched recently. The repair was skillful, but it was clearly newer than the rest of the cloth. A clever idea formed in Tenali Raman's mind. The next day, he summoned all the tailors in the city to the royal court. When they arrived, he held up the bag and asked, "Has any one of you repaired this bag?" The tailors examined it one by one. Finally, an elderly tailor stepped forward. "Yes, sir, I repaired this bag several months ago." The court became silent. Tenali Raman smiled. "Tell us exactly what happened." The tailor replied, "A wealthy merchant brought it to me. One side had been opened, and he asked me to stitch it closed again." The merchant, who was standing nearby, suddenly became nervous. Sweat appeared on his forehead. Tenali Raman turned toward him. "You recognize this bag, don't you?" "Yes," the merchant replied. "It belongs to the elderly woman." "When she gave it to you, was the bag damaged?" "No," said the merchant quickly. "It was in perfect condition." Tenali Raman folded his arms. "Interesting. If the bag was undamaged when she gave it to you, then how did it later need repairing?" The merchant's face turned pale. He had no answer. The entire court stared at him. Tenali addressed the king. "Your Majesty, the truth is now obvious. The merchant secretly opened the bag, removed the gold ornaments, replaced them with fake ones, and then had the bag stitched closed. The tailor's testimony proves it." The merchant realized he could no longer escape. His shoulders slumped. At last he confessed. "Forgive me, Your Majesty. Greed overcame me. I stole the ornaments." The court gasped. The elderly woman burst into tears. The merchant was ordered to return every piece of the stolen jewellery immediately. When the real gold ornaments were brought back, the elderly woman wept with joy. My son, she said to Tenali Raman, you have saved everything I worked for. Tenali Raman smiled gently. Truth may hide for a while, but it can never stay hidden forever. King Krishnadevaraya punished the merchant for his dishonesty. The story spread throughout Vijayanagara. People learned an important lesson about greed and justice. And once again, the kingdom praised the wisdom, intelligence, and fairness of Tenali Raman.